Welcome. Today's video is inspired by having had a session just now. I held a session, and something that is really important to know is that our language is very unique for all of us, even though we think we're all speaking English, right? Just bear with me. The way we express things can be done in a multitude of ways, and to create neurological change, to rewire our neurology, and to basically really get into that part that the word elicits in the brain, to create that emotion, to create that shift, we need to use the words the other person uses. And it's a really beautiful, deep exploration. But as a coach, I'm trained for that. I'm trained to hear the kind of language that you use. I'm trained to understand whether you're more visual, auditory, kinesthetic, how you tend to perceive and interpret the world. And that means that if someone tells you something and they're using wording and phrasing, articulation, that doesn't really resonate, they could be telling the full truth, but something doesn't sink right in for you. And you know yourself that we can say things in so many ways, like, I'm feeling good. What does that mean? Well, for me, it could mean that I just feel contented. I feel like my body is relaxed. I feel like there's nothing to worry about. For someone else, that can mean I feel like I'm ready to eat dinner, or I'm ready to go for a run, or I feel like I feel after having done some exercise or some yoga, or how I feel in the morning or in the shower. Feeling a sense of relief is a very strong word. So a lot of times that comes up, but it has to come up from the client. A sense of relief is really very deep. Imagine you've got a problem and you feel that sense of relief, that you really understand its root cause and you feel free from it. It's just not part of your thinking web, your program anymore. But someone else might express that as, oh, I feel freer, or I feel contented, or I feel invigorated and I'm shining. I'm like ready to go. I feel so empowered. So these are all the different dimensions in which we can experience our unique perception and interpretation and projection and all that stuff. And it can be different depending on whether we're working on an issue around your childhood. It can be a very different language to whether we're working around an issue around education in the school system, because you've used different languaging and you switch into a different aspect of your brain, and different words elicit the trauma or the well-being. Any of it. They're often linked with an image and a word. And that is what I love about it. So that's where listening comes in, being a good listener and starting to observe those patterns, and being able to shift them, recognizing them and finding out where they come from. And really, it is like pulling out a program. When you've got code, there is like this follows that follows this, you know, and all the wording that is used and all the details in it. And when you put one thing different, everything becomes something else or stops working. And we are like that. This is the aspect of language and thought. And that's how we perceive life. So if you are completely still, your true nature is just light, peace. Don't need anybody. You're just with all that is. And many people go there when we have sessions. It is a very deeply meditative place where often women will go into their true self, which is really radiant light. And even remembering that changes everything. Because when we remember who we are and what is within us, we can use that anytime. Once we've done it once, it can happen again. And I put this into a meditation, and that's what makes it so different. Because I often ponder myself, how much can we do ourselves? And I like the idea that, you know, we can do everything ourselves. I do. I like the idea that everyone realizes whatever it is, I can see it, I can release it myself. But the truth is that when we have an ego and when we've got a fear program that wants to keep us safe, which is in our unconscious, those two things really sabotage that. The ego will come up with, oh, you don't need it now, you can't afford it, or that problem, just don't worry, do another course, you'll get rid of it. Or when you meet the true love of your life, you'll get rid of it. Or when you've got more money, or just forget it, you know, right now other things are more important, when really your own well-being is always the most important. That's how you can serve people and yourself and humanity, and you can thrive, and you don't actually cause more trauma onto others, more damage, more misunderstanding. That's why the sooner we shift, the better. That's my philosophy. The other thing is that your unconscious mind is actually what is creating those sabotages or issues or challenges, the things you can't seem to shift. To get into the unconscious, you have to be in a weird place of deep meditation, and yet you'd have to be conscious to be able to shift it, which is why I feel we need help to do this. And I guess really there is a part of me that's always, you know, independent, and I can do this, yes. But I feel we bring that independent person into a session, and we're fully open to doing the work, not holding back. So prepare that you're willing to be bare and open to really shift, because that is the highest practice. That is truly saying, whatever happens, I'm going to open up, I'm going to play, I'm going to go into my unconscious, I'm going to relax, I'm going to trust. We do need each other. As much as it's nice to do things on your own, that's also in a sense a trauma response from feeling not heard, from feeling we can't trust others. And that's why it's important to recognize who you can trust. And yes, that is something that's really important, because there are a lot of people I wouldn't be trusting and that I've heard that you can't trust, and they all pretend to be spiritual and also non-spiritual. It's out there. It's a bit like when you go in a shop, you choose what fruit you buy, what apple, what banana. You're not gonna get the brown one, you're gonna get the fresh ones. And it's just a bit more hidden when it is personalities and unconscious intentions. And sometimes the image can look right, but is the essence right? Are they really living it, right? So there's a lot of discernment, and you will learn that as you connect with people. Trust yourself. So that trust, yes, but if you then realize that we can help each other, it's actually also a humbling, and it's also us helping each other. You know, there's always ways we can swap. So if you wanted a session and you are a graphic artist or a computer programmer, or you're a gardener, or you're someone who sells organic produce, or you're a hairdresser, or whatever that is, there can be a swap where I would love your services and you enjoy mine. And that works out really beautifully. We all need each other, and we all have gifts to share. And notice if the resistance is around either money, for example, which is fine. It has to be realistic, but at the same time, more money will come, and money will be enjoyed when we are clear, when we are in love, when we are radiant. You know, totally different things happen. Or if the resistance is around trust, or maybe an overinflated sense of, which is perfect, but noticing it, of I can do everything on my own. I can do everything on my own. I don't trust the world. I'm just my own person. So yeah, that's really good to observe, you know, and also your priorities on money. You know, realizing, well, is it worth it to buy another tree or get a better car? Depends again what the car means and how bad or good the car is and how you need it, versus my sanity, my spiritual and physical mental integration. You know, from my experience, when you are integrating and you are meeting your true self, even a rubbish bin can look beautiful. Even the most simplest blossom can blow you away. The infinite sky, the same moon that you're looking at all the time, can just take you into a magical place. Just a shower and a feeling of water, or just drinking a glass of water, and that replenishment and feeling can have you in complete fulfillment, because you're so present to the gift of that. Nothing else is needed or can compare or compete. And from that perspective, I think it's also really rewarding to find that inner joy, because once you have that joy and gratitude, you have more joy and gratitude for everything, and all that stuff amplifies, right? All of that becomes more, you attract through that magnetic field more people that are vibing with this, and it just goes on and on and on. It's like a never-ending gift to yourself. And this is how I feel. This is why I've worked on myself, and why I have treated myself to treatments, to courses, to dedicated myself to you know, in complete immersions, really deep, and to vulnerability quite consciously, and to the excitement of finding out who I really am, because that's huge. And it's funny, when we get caught up in the outside world, that's the last thing we tend to think about, and it's the first thing that will give you all the joy and happiness and really enrich the outer experience in a hugely vast place. So I think it really helps when we're going through tough times, through challenges, through uncertainty, to remember that going within is the highest practice. That the ego may resist that, thinking, well, that's boring and I'm just gonna have to face my trauma and all that kind of thing. But for you to be able to feel, no, it's not true, because I'm gonna connect to my source within, which is love, which is light, which is creativity, which is inspiration, which is joy, which is indescribable. You cannot get that by going out to a restaurant or having a better car or having another job, you know, amplification. You know, it's something there is no substitute for. There just isn't. And humanity is realizing that. And that's why when we retire, so to speak, people turn into simplicity and they want to just relax. Well, do it now. And make your life a joyful, playful experience of enjoying the playground, going out there, but also being within, and never losing or selling your soul or your internal brilliance for anything. So as I look at this incredible ghost gum, which is all smooth and whitish and has the sun reflected on it there, I just see light and God, and the leaves are shimmering, and I feel it's the same thing that's within me and within you. And this expression, trees just do it in the most amazing way. So I hope that that helps. And I wanted to just explain why it is that we actually, you know, thrive on getting help. Sorry, my phone was having a challenge. And we thrive on opening up to the right person to really shift. So I hope you enjoyed my little chat and sharing from the heart. It is always here to hope to inspire you. Take this moment to reflect, to journal, to feel. Are you living your potential? Are you connected with yourself? Are you chasing your internal versus the external? And can you make a little shift into the direction that might serve you better? Because everything benefits, guaranteed. And that has been written by the sages and the wise ones for millennia and forever and beyond. So let me know what you think. And if you've got any fears around it, if they come up, share them. Let them out, let them be seen, so that you can realize how funny they actually are, and how they may seem real in one moment, but you also realize, wow, that's just a belief. What would I be without it? I love to see women thrive. That's my specialty in terms of, I've got nothing against men, but I work with women, and I just love women sparkling and shining and laughing and being their true selves and thriving completely in every way, body, mind, spirit. And you can't thrive without your spiritual dimension. You can't thrive by ignoring the body. You can't thrive if your mind is not harmonizing for you, or you're enjoying the ride on harmonizing it. So it's all connected. And that wholesomeness is something beyond words, beyond description. Yes. All right. Ciao for now. Thank you for listening, and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Ciao.